How's it going, YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming to you guys with sort of a deck profile, sort of a reflection, sort of a tournament report type video. I'm not really sure how I want to go about this, but I wanted to talk about the Mermail deck that I played at this weekend's locals, and I didn't do as well as I had done with my old build. I played kind of an Aqua Spirit Mermail, very similar to Sarosh Sarabian's build that he topped a YCS with last format. And I was mainly focusing on using it to bring out the two big new cards from the new set, which I really wanted to kind of try out on a tournament scene. They were 101 Silent Honor Arc and Evil Swarm Exiton Knight. I also want to apologise because I'm just seeing it on the camera. There is going to be quite a bit of glare in this video that I am going to try and avoid, but there will be glare. I've recently moved into a new flat. And I haven't really chosen a good position yet, so I need to sort out a good position for recording. But I'm going to get into this list. I ended up going 3-2 in the end, losing to Evil Swarm and losing to Mermail in games that I felt were out of my control. But on reflection afterwards, I realised that maybe my deck build choices may have led to the potential for losses. Because against the Evil Swarm player, I did misplay. I did have game at one point, and I was under fissure from turn 1. I should have summoned a marksman and I would have had game, but I didn't, and it cost me it. But in the Mermail matchup, I felt that in game 2, I was given a hand of just Atlanteans and Aqua Spirits, and there wasn't really much I could do, and I felt like maybe my deck build had led to those cards being dead in my hand. So I'm going to go into the deck profile and hopefully try and find positions in which it's not too glary. So I played one Abyss Lead. You start to play this guy, he's the muscle card. I've dropped him once or twice, actually, and gotten 3 effects off, like usually 2 Atlanteans and a Gund, and then you get your Sphere back from grave. He's not all bad, like I've been dropping him more and more recently. 3 copies of Mermail Abyss Megalo. This was mono Mermail in a nutshell, so you need 3 Megalo if you're playing mono. 3 copies of Mermail Abyss Teus. Everything that I'm skipping by, I felt I had no problem with. The triple Teus was really nice. Like, this is a lovely opening, especially if you have like this guy. Even if he clogs with like a Megalo, if you've got this guy, Gund, and a Megalo in hand, you can just do all sorts of weird plays. Like you can summon the Abyss Teus, get a Pike to hand, summon the Pike, pitch the Gund, search a 3. Gund will get back this if you discarded it to summon the Teus, which I forgot to mention. So I've been finding really cool ways to stop these guys clogging in hand, because you can sometimes have multiples, or you can clog with other boss monsters, but I've been finding cool ways to play around with those. Triple Abyss Lind, again, no problem. There was one game where I played against a Prophecy player, and game 2 I opened Megalo, Sphere, Sphere, Lind, Lind, Lind. 3 Linds, 2 Sphere, and a Megalo after pile shuffling, which was horrible. I was really quite upset with that, so I did scoop that game fairly quickly. 3 copies of Mermail Abyss Pike, again, an absolutely solid card, and your 1 Mermail Abyss Terge. I'd like to give kind of an honourable mention to these 2 cards in combination with Mermail Abyss Gund. Mermail Abyss Gund makes these cards incredible, because it makes your rank 4 engine. I'm just seeing where I can put these where the glare isn't too bad. It makes your rank 4 engine kind of faster than Aqua Spirits, really, because of the ways you can go. If you have either of these guys in hand with the Gund and the corresponding one in the graveyard, like if you have Terge in hand and Gund in hand, and Pike in grave, or Pike in hand and Terge in grave, you can go summon the one guy, pitch the Gund to activate their effect. The Gund will then get the other one out. And then, of course, because you've used their effect, you then have another water monster in your hand to activate their effect. My favourite kind of plays are going, summon the Terge, pitch the Gund, get heavy infantry back. Gund gets my Pike from the graveyard. Pike can then send that infantry, and I get a free pop and a free search. So I've just summoned this guy back basically for free. So it's really nice, and I've taken my opponent's card off board. So, honourable mention, just the combination of these guys, it really does make me want to play another Terge just for those plays to make 4s. I then played double Mermail Abyss Gund. Mermail Abyss Gund is incredible. I was testing it at 3 because I felt that it might warrant going to 3, but to be honest, it clogged so hard. It was such a good card to have, but having it in multiples is so bad because of its once per turn restriction. So, the 3rd was really bad, and I did have to cut it, sadly. A card which I'm really in 2 minds about recently is Mermail Abyss Oshia. Mermail Abyss Oshia is, of course, essential for your opening turn plays, making your Engineer Bahama Shark plays. I respect that, but every other situation, this card is really, really bad. I know there are some combo plays you can make mid-game, But in my opinion, I've just been having a lot less fun with this card. I've been drawing it dead a lot, and I'm considering just stopping myself from having incredible opening plays and relying on going first and just creating a more consistent build, which is what I plan on doing after this video. So I'm really not sure how I feel about the Oshia type build. That rounds off our Mermail core. I'm just going to move these out of the way if I'm able to. That rounds off all the Mermails we play. For the Atlanteans, I play the 1 Dragoons, the 3 Marksmen, because I still think that back row destruction is a really big thing in this deck, and, well, just set card destruction is really good. Gear is the main reason I like to play this. There's a Gear presence at my locals, and I just really like the ability to pop face down stuff. Double Atlantean Heavy Infantry. I respect the fact that some people have been cutting this down to 1. I really don't agree with that. I think that Heavy Infantry is an incredibly powerful card, and I'd possibly go back to 3 with it, but 2 has been suiting me. 3 was clogging a little bit, but I still don't have any respect for 1. If someone can justify it to me, that'd be great, but I don't really like playing 1. Then, finally, we're moving on to the kind of just general water stuff. I play the 1 Deep Sea Diva. I'm considering cutting this because Veiler is becoming a lot more present, and this getting Veilered really hurts, and I want to get more of a consistent build as I was saying earlier, like a deck that just loses to less things. So Diva's there. I'm probably going to cut that. Tidal would never get cut. Tidal is just such a good boss monster in this deck. It makes your rank 7 plays really powerful, so I really like the Tidal. 3 copies of Aqua Spirit was something that I'm really debating now. I played these originally, as I said earlier, to make Exiton and 101, and of course the Bahamut Dweller plays and things like that. But they were just really subpar. Like, they're a -1 to summon, basically, because they're just going to go, and they're just there to assist with an Xyz. So they make your Xyz as a -1, which isn't the way the deck plays when I play it. Whenever I make a play, I usually try and end up with a very similar amount of cards in my hand as to when I started, if I can help it. So Aqua Spirit really goes against that ethos, and also it's one of the few cards in the deck which is kind of dead in hand until you need to make that Xyz play. So I'm considering either cutting this down in numbers or cutting it completely. So Aqua Spirit has been kind of hurting me recently, so I'm not sure how I feel about them. And then the final monsters I'm playing in the deck are 2 Effect Veiler. 2 Effect Veiler were in here for 2 reasons. 1, because Veiler has been getting a lot stronger recently in the meta, and 2, because Crimson Blader is a thing that's really powerful in Mirror and against Heretics. However, this card also serves very little purpose in the deck with regards to its water content, and a lot of people have been telling me play Divine Wrath instead, and I'm starting to consider listening to them. So this is a card which is really debatable in my mind. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with Effect Veiler in my next incarnation of this build, because this is a build this is a deck I would like to take to regionals, but at this point I'm not having very much faith in the current build which I wanted to test. For the spells, I played 1 Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is something that I'm playing for Tidal. I am not a massive fan of Lavalval Chain. I am currently playing Lavalval Chain, but it has been proving less and less useful to me as time goes on. And there are so many situations now where I'll have the 2 4s on board, and I'll want to make 101 or Exiton or any of the other 4s over Lavalval Chain just because it sets up my Tidal. So the Foolish Burial gives me the access to the Tidal without having to commit one of my 4 plays into making him. So that's why that's there. Double Salvage. Salvage has been really powerful throughout. If I cut the Diva, I would definitely put in the 3rd Infantry, just to keep this live and keep this with as many targets as it has. But I have no quarrels over Double Salvage. I really like that at the moment. And then I'm playing double Mystical Space Typhoon, possibly to be bumped up to 3. But a lot of players I've seen are kind of hating having to run this card at 3, but it is something you kind of have to, so I might consider it going up. So that's the spells. I only play 5 spells, and I play the same amount of traps. 3 of Sphere, which you guys are already familiar with, and the double Mirror Force. It's numbers which I'm happy with, but the Mirror Forces have been kind of hurting me a lot. I guess maybe it's because people have been bad and have been blind spacing me and hitting my Mirror Forces, and I just get really upset because people shouldn't blind space Mermails. But it happens, and I like this card loses to bad players and is really good against good players. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Also, I'm really considering bulking up this trap lineup with Divine Wrath and with a few other traps. So maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see where these mirrors go. I do really want to play Abyss Squall, because there were situations where I'd rather to have had Squall over Mirror Force, because when my opponent blind spaced me, I could have still chained the Squall and gotten loads of stuff back and not lost to an OTK push. So the Squalls are definitely a really big consideration for me. Now onto the extra deck. This extra deck will become full Xyz if the Veilers and Diva go, but for now the only synchros I'm playing are one Armades. I had cut this for a while. There were situations where my Armoured Kappa was gone and I really wanted another thing to make with my Diva, and Armades was the thing I most often needed. And then the Crimson Blader is in here for any of your level 7 Mermails and Veiler to make, or any of your level 4 Mermails and a Diva Heavy Infantry to make. So these are in here for that reason. They never came out over the course of the event. I made Armades twice. I never made Crimson Blader, so I'm not sure if they're worth me kind of running at the moment, because it's something that's not consistently made, and I want to make this deck a bit more consistent. For the Xyzes, I play 1/2, the Kappa. Sadly, I think I'd keep this card in if I did chop up the deck and take out the Diva, because you can still make this with 2 marksmen, 2 infantries, and it's an incredibly strong card for getting around the fissure. So I still quite like that. If I go to 3 infantry, I'll definitely still be playing the Kappa. It's the one thing that's really made me keep the Diva this long, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. For the 3s, 1 Mech-Whipped Engineer. This will go for a Leviathan Dragon if I make the change to take Osia out. There were so many situations in Saturday, where Engineer would have really helped me if I had... where Leviathan Dragon would have really helped me, because I had situations where I had like Oshia or Lind on field. My opponent has a face down card that I really need to pop, and I've got a Marksman in hand, and I could have just summoned the Marksman, made the Leviathan Dragon, detached the Marksman, and popped it. But I couldn't because I wasn't playing Leviathan, and I had the Mech-Whipped Engineer. I'm playing Double Trite for Bahama Shark. Again, I think I might cut one of these if I don't have the first turn play, because there were so many situations in my games where I'd play without that play, where I don't make that play, where I never have the Bahama Shark around again to get another Trite out, so it really wouldn't be something I'd miss. I'd prefer to have the space, but those are the 3s. For the 4s, Bahama Shark, of course, is a staple. 1 Aqua Spirit. Abyss Dweller. This card is incredible in the mirror match, but in the Mermail mirror match that I played on Saturday, it got warninged. I wasn't reading a warning. I was reading a sphere. There was my turn 1. I summoned a Pike, did Pike's effect, and then banished the card for Aqua Spirit. I had an MST in hand. I made this, thinking, okay, I'll make this, then I'll MST his sphere, and then if it is a sphere, he chains it. I go Aqua Spirit, and that sphere does nothing for him. So I was trying to be too smart, I guess, trying to lock out his sphere, and it ended up biting me in the ass because it got warninged. And I'd kind of committed to that because my hand wasn't very strong. I was trying to get an early lead, and I kind of lost on that premise. I've then played 1 number 101 Silent Honor Arc. I made this twice. This was really, really strong. It's really nice. I didn't have to be that careful because I knew which players on the day had 101s in their extra decks. Because I'm quite close with a lot of people there. I spoke to a lot of people. I didn't have to make this in defense very often. I didn't have to worry about my opponent's 101. So the 101 was in there. The 1 Exiton, I actually never made this. On Dueling Network I make this all the time, but I never made this at locals, which kind of made me sad. It's an incredibly strong card, and in Mermail I quite like it because when you do go minus, you can make 4/4 plays out of nowhere. You can make the Pike Turge plays that I just talked about earlier out of nowhere, and this can come out of nowhere and really wreck your opponent's game and put you back on track. So, but I am going to be doing a review video on this card because I really don't like what it's doing to the game. I think it's a very bad card for good players. I think that this punishes good play and rewards bad play. So, while I play it, I don't agree with the card as a premise. And then finally I play 1 Lavalval Chain because Lavalval Chain sets you up with Tidal and it can set up your top decks. But it's more in there due to peer pressure. I really don't want to play it. I never make it. I normally just win without Tidal rather than make Fiendish Lavalval Chain. I don't know. Call me weird if you want to. And then playing 2 Draco Sack for the 7s. I feel that 2 Draco Sack is much better than 1, especially now that 101 is around. 101 can take it if you're going on the offensive with it. And there's just so many situations in which you need the second one, especially if you're going to be playing Squall in the deck. If I'm going to be bumping up to Squall, I don't actually own one, but I'd consider playing the 3rd Draco Sack just because of that. So double Draco is a thing. 1 Big Eye because Big Eye is incredible, and it won me a game against a Harati player because he made a shark. He made a Shark Fortress against me, And he was playing pure heretics, not heretic ruler. He made a Shark Fortress against me. I veiled it so he couldn't OTK me with his field. And then I made Big Eye in my turn, took his Shark Fortress, and made it attack twice, and then put a Megalo down, made that attack twice, and that was game. So that was fun. And then finally the one Mermail Viscaios. This is a card which I'd also want to play it too if I had a second one. So I don't have a Gaios. I don't have a second Gaios, so that's that, I guess. But, yeah, guys, this has been something that I wanted to talk about, just on camera, because you guys know I play Mermail quite a lot. It's something that I'm quite passionate about. I really like this deck. But to talk about the things that I'd probably be removing, the things that have been iffy, the 2 Mirror, I'd maybe consider the Foolish and just kind of YOLO it, and if I get Tidal, I get Tidal. If I don't, I don't. The Veilers might come out for Divine Wraths, because the Crimson Blader hasn't been that strong. The Triple Aqua Spirits, they are probably going to come out. The Diva is probably going to come out. The Oshia is going to come out. So I'm considering cutting all these for just cards that will make things a bit more consistent. Diva is probably the least likely thing to go, followed by the Veilers, because I do like these, but they do run the risk of going because they haven't been pulling their weight for their space. So I'm trying to really eliminate stuff and come up with a more efficient build. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the description below. Let me know what cards you've been playing in your Mermail decks. I'm really interested to hear that. I'm really interested to hear how you've been optimizing it for the new format. And I'm really actually quite eager to see what kind of build Patrick Hoban has been running. I've been hearing rumours of the Skill Drain variant, and I'm considering playing a Skill Drain variant myself. But this is all stuff that's up in the air that I have to test, along with doing my uni work. But yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed. This is James Kid 00, and I'll be back soon with some more content as soon as I'm able to find a better and less glary spot in my room. Peace out, guys. Bye.